What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to the VegasOdds.com recap show with your host, Garrett Kerman, the fight analyst, and with me, as always, my man, Jesse Hobson, Mr. Joe Danger. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm wearing my Game Boy onesie because all I do is game. And by game, I mean win because I went against all of Garrett's bets last night and I did very well. Uh,
Except for the very one that we were different on. I don't know about all that.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I used that Encanto magic. We don't talk about Bruno, but what's weird about that one is the line flipped, because didn't Souza started out as the underdog, right?
Yeah, he
I
started
believe
out
I
as
believe
underdog.
so anyway, or Souza, whatever. He's never gonna meet me. Um, but yeah, man, I didn't. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch that fight. But you're not the only one that I'm hearing that was a little odd of a call. Honestly, I'm not really interested in this fight as well.
Right.
But I mean, from what I'm hearing in the Twitterverse, yeah, the judges kind of got this one wrong.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was close. I can't say it was like a full blown robbery. Could have gone either way, but I just don't see what Saldana was really doing to win rounds. I mean, the first round, I would say he won it just because of a failed spinning attack that got taken down. And second round was definitely Souza all day. In the third round, I thought Souza was definitely wearing, he was doing much more damage. Whereas, Saldana was waving him on, but I never seen a fighter be like, "Come on, let's fight, let's fight." But you're also walking backwards, like you're not meeting him in the
Yeah,
middle. And let's say it's fight, you're like, "Come on, come fight," but you have to catch me first. It's like,
yeah.
what was that? And then I don't know. Maybe that's sweet the judges. Maybe I don't know. But I thought Salazar won rounds 2 and 3 pretty
Well,
clearly.
also too, like, I mean, I don't want this to sound weird, but like they kind of look similar from the back, like
Yeah, they
from
do.
but like, I mean, obviously their face and stuff doesn't look the same, but from the back, I think a lot of times these judges just are like, okay, I think that's Saldana or I think that's whoever, or and
You
they're
would
just like,
you would hope not.
I know, but like, I mean, I've been at a couple shows where I've been pretty close, like where was Oklahoma City when Kevin Lee beat who was it? He beat Chiesa. And dude, like there was many times where, because we were like in the second row, we were like right by the judges. There was many times where like I could clearly see them not paying attention. Um, but also that might have just been like, I don't know, a one off. But yeah, these guys, they look similar. They look similar, like um to the extent that I could see how that could be an issue. And also they're not really names, like they're not, like, no one knows these guys, so they're just
Right,
like, okay, I think, like, you might just also just get confused with who is who
right.
ultimately.
No, that's definitely possible. I mean, but these man, the judging was iffy throughout the night for the most part. I mean, Mataus, Nikolai, and David Dvorak. I mean, I hit as an underdog on Nicolau, but that could have gone the opposite way too. Dvorak, I thought, could have edged out round three. And we know round one went to the Dvorak and round two went to Nicolau. So the judging wasn't on its best behavior last night. But did anything like stand out to you at all that you've seen in this fight card?
Faro has like interesting things on her chin. They're a little distracting, even though she like handles business in the octagon. I'm just like, bro, like, make enough money to get that removed. Like, she's not ugly, but at the same time, like, you're working on your like, you're getting tone. You have this weird outy innie belly button. That's fine. That happens. But at the very least, just get rid of these like little mushrooms here on your chin. Jennifer Maya, yeah, I thought that I was expecting the finish just based off kind of what you said, but then also too, once it got started, I was like, yeah, I could easily see this happening.
Right.
But she didn't do it. So
No. Yeah. I mean, she won, and she's pretty dominant, but it wasn't as dominant as you'd want to see from a potential title contender. You
Yeah.
know, she's calling out Caitlin Chikagian next, but Caitlin Chikagian's got a fight coming up soon. I forgot who she's fighting, but yeah, she's fighting. So I don't know what's next for Fiora. So we'll see what happens there. But the spinning back fist by Chris Gutierrez. Wow,
Yeah.
holy shit. That
Yeah.
was impressive. And then I saw a lot of people on Dana in that fight, and I can't say anything against what other people were thinking, but it was just like this guy hasn't beaten anybody. He was knocking out guys that really aren't UFC caliber. And then in comes Gutierrez, who I arguably think is a top 15 fighter. He's going to get a top 15 opponent next after this. And I just thought he was a much better striker, and he showed it. He was able to keep on the outside, use his leg kicks, like I said, that were going to play dividends, and then it just completely outstrike him. He missed on the spinning back fist in the first round, and got taken down and eventually lost the round. But he did it again in round two, meaning he saw something there. He practiced it a ton, in the gym, and he landed it, and he's like, sure as shit, it worked. I don't know
Yeah.
what he saw, but I guess he said, the over aggressiveness of Dana, he thought that he would be able to capitalize on that, and man, what a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it was like definitely one of the obviously it wasn't performance of the night, but as far as the most common shared things from this fight card, that was probably it, or at least one of them. Yeah, the other thing about this card that stood out, not only that, was that like the fans, like it and I can tell you this actually being at a show, it gets annoying because like a lot of the people that are around you are mostly this is their first show, or like they didn't really want to go. They kind of got dragged there. Like it's a group of like 6 or 7 people, and they're like, "We have an extra ticket. Joe, do you want to go?" Or like Jimmy, like we haven't come on. And then like no one gives a shit. Like it's just like they aren't fucking knocking each other's heads off. And of course you get the chance like the dick twist chant and like the sweep the leg. It's funny the first time, but then like when you're like at like the last fight on the undercard, it's like, dude, shut up, like, or leave. Um, like because I obviously you and I are fans. We know these guys on a different level. Like Gutierrez, man, how like you? I know that you and I have picked him multiple times prior. We've probably seen most of it, at least half of his career at this point. It's I've probably mentioned this before, but I like going to fights with my dad just because my dad equates it to kind of like he was a softball coach for my sister. He equates it to kind of like this softball like mentality where everyone knows everyone. And like we've been to fights where we sat next to Clay Guida's family or BJ Penn's family, and they're all wearing like their shirts, that they made themselves. Like it's pretty cool, man. Like it's a fun experience just for that part of it. But whenever the fans start like booing, and we'll get to this, I'm sure. It like or the Ric Flair chants. It's like, dude, there's a lot of this stuff. Like it's not just going to be like knock their. It's not rock'em sock'em robots every fight. It can be, and that's fun. That's fine. But some of this stuff takes time. Obviously, Chris was trying to set up, the spinning back fist, and he got it. But had he not, the fans would have complained. It's annoying. Just enjoy the fight. You're there for the if one is not your style, the next one will be. And before we move on, I have to mention my boy, the Amish Bear, looking like the minus 10,000 that he is. Yeah, he's weird.
He is. He was talking about moving down to 170, and I think that would suit him mightily because he's pretty undersized for 185 pounds.
Yeah.
And he's just a little flat, a little on the flabbier side, but he's got the skill, and especially at 170, I think he'd be a force, easy top 15, top 10 fighter.
Yeah, quick style too. Like and then like if he makes some moves down there, or then he could easily come back. And like I don't know, man. There's a lot of potential with him, and it's like that silent assassin type of mentality, which I really enjoy and respect. Nothing to take. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Chris Gutierrez fight, but I just had to mention my boy Amish Bear.
No, absolutely. No, it's just that, and he showed decent striking. He showed he's got a chin. He took some shots.
Yeah.
From a Muay Thai champion, I believe he is. But yeah, I mean, he showed some heart, and he showed that once it gets to the mat, it's pretty much over against pretty much probably anybody.
Well, yeah, and I mean, even like at the weigh-ins and stuff, you could tell he was undersized in comparison, but it didn't matter, and I love that. He's like, I'll take on anyone, and I will take them to the ground, and I will take them, however I want. I love that.
Right.
It's special. I think he's a special guy, and I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, sky's the limit. I think, like I said, I expect it to be top 15, and literally 185, 170 doesn't really matter. He's got the potential. Another fight: Mark Diakase and Slava Claus, Vyacheslav Borshow, I think. Yeah, it wasn't really the most exciting fight, but Diakase got back into the winning column. A lot of people cashed on him as an underdog. But he went in there and got the job done, used his grappling, and it was the best that he's ever looked. And then Slava looked great defending takedowns early, but the relentless takedown after takedown after takedown, he couldn't do it. And then he was just flat on his back for the remainder of the fight.
Yeah, the evolution of Mark Diakase, pretty cool. This is kind of one of the fights that I was getting annoyed with the crowd. He needed this win. He got the win.
And they still booed him after he got the win. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, and he is an exciting fighter. But he knew what he had to do to win. And
he needed that win. You know what I mean? He's not going to go in there and play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with a great striker, a lethal striker in Slava. So,
yep.
He's like, I don't care if you think I'm boring. I'm going to go in there. I'm fighting for my career. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get a win.
And ultimately, that's impressive to me because you have so much added pressure. I was a little disappointed with Slava. I expected a little bit more because it was 30-27. On all the scorecards, which I agree with. But Diakase, he didn't get knocked out, which I think was the expectation. I will say he did look a little. How do I juice to the gills? He looked a little thick, and his abs, bro.
4 C's.
Yeah, he looked like I felt like I was getting like laundry boner from looking at him. I was like, I can do laundry on that guy. Like, no, I mean, I don't want to take that away, or I don't want to take away from his win because who knows, but I'll just say he didn't look different. He looked little bit different than he normally does. And that might have helped him get takedowns.
We don't know that for sure. This is all speculation.
Yeah, allegedly. Don't sue me. But yeah, I don't know. Again, this kind of goes back to what I was saying in the about the booing thing. Like, I love fans back at the fights, but dude, shut up. Like I don't know.
No, I'm the same way. That's why I'm kind of happy we're going back to the Apex soon.
Yeah.
I would love that they just kept it at the Apex and have UFC pay-per-views with big audiences. That's all. Like, we don't need these small. The small ones I don't care about. Like the fight nights, keep it at the Apex. I like it because the booing sways the judges, the cheering sways the judges. Just all this added crap because the judges don't know what they're looking at to begin with. So if anything is magnified by the audience, it's going to magnify what the judges are seeing as well.
Yeah, especially in these like shithole cities like Columbus, Ohio.
Right. Exactly.
Well, it says a lot when Stipe gets the biggest pop of the night and he's not even fighting. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Stipe as much as the next worker, or whatever they do in Ohio. But like, I don't know. Like so here's another example. They booed Barberina, and I get it because Matt Brown lost, but it was a hell of a fight. Like, how the hell are you gonna like? They gave you a war and you're still booing the man, and he's literally like jerking off your city.
He's like, thank you guys for having me and this and that, and you guys are still booing him after he put on a hell of a performance. And I'm surprised they actually got that. they got 2 fights I think wrong on the undercard, right? Between the Saldana win and the Nicolau win, but they actually got the right calls between Neil Magny, Max Griffin, and Brian Barberena and Matt Brown. I'm surprised they got those 2 right, considering how bad they did on the first 2.
Yeah, let's talk about the Magny fight. The Neil Mag. Yeah, what did you think? What did you think of that fight?
I mean, it was not looking good early. I was like, what the hell's going on? Especially since he got dropped. He just couldn't deal with the movement of Max Griffin, because Max Griffin he moves a lot different than normal other fighters, especially at his stature. And he's different because he used to be a brawler, but now he's more of a technical fighter, and he showed it. But after that first round, he started landing in round 2. He started wearing Max down because his cardio is not the greatest. And from then on, round 3 he obviously dominated. And round 2, I thought he edged him out too, because he landed the harder shots. He landed just as much volume. He threw more. He came forward. He was being the aggressor. So I think he won rounds 2 and 3, in my opinion.
And the power bomb. And he landed the power
Oh,
bomb.
yeah, I forgot about that. The power bomb. I think that was exclamation point. They're like, shit, he did a power bomb? Let's give it to him.
Yeah, well, I saw like a lot of people saying like, I could see how that could be a 10-8. And I'm like, Griffin still did stuff. Like, I don't like, it's cool. Power bombs are cool, but I mean, settle down.
But the thing is, like, if a round 3 is so dominant, sometimes they forget what happened in rounds 1 and 2.
Which is what I was counting on, because I texted you last night and I was like, dude, I'm not even watching this fight. I'm literally just scrolling through Twitter and just like refreshing. And yeah, it was typical Neil Magny. Like I played him live at plus 220 after round 2.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
like, yeah, 2 units. So I was like, okay, so no matter what happens, I'm still this night is still a win for me. And yeah, dude, like I was really pleased with that. I mean, I went back and watched round 2, or I went back and watched the fight. He looked good in round 2, but it was like it was what I expected. Max Griffin does not bang the prom queen, and he looked completely devastated because he didn't get to bang her. But it was Neil Magny, like he was so like he's like, yeah, typical. Like, I'm gonna take you in deep waters and just do my thing, power bomb you. But but
typical shit.
Yeah, but between you and me though, man, Neil Magny doesn't want to fight Cosmot, dude. He like that's not a real thing.
I think he does, but I don't think it'll end well for him. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't think he wants that fight. I think it's fun to talk about, like kind of like whenever you like talking about like buying something at the mall. Like you're walking down the like.
Well, I mean, you gotta think of it this way: he wants to fight because that'll probably be the biggest money fight that he can get right now. Fighting someone else in the top 15, other than like a title fight or someone with a really big name like a Masvidal, he ain't really gonna get big money. I think Khamzat would be big money because he's a big name. That's where I think he's going off of. But I don't think that fight will ever happen, because if Khamzat beats Burns, it's up,
it's a
not
step
down.
back. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun to talk about because it's like by him mentioning it, it kind of keeps him in the conversation, but not in the conversation of actually fighting him. It keeps him like in the top, echelon of those fighters. But yeah, it's I think what I was getting at was like, it's kind of like buying a lava lamp, like you really want to buy one. And then you're like, I'm good. Like, I'll stick to my normal lamp. I'm good.
And then you buy the lava lamp, and you're like, I definitely regret this.
Yeah, you just like look at it. You're like, like, I just don't see that in like going well, and I think he just needs to kind of keep doing what he's doing. I actually really enjoyed the output from Griffin. I thought it was really fun to watch.
He's gotten a lot better, like a lot better,
and
like
strong.
He did well defending takedowns early, first 2 rounds, but then you're going against a cardio machine. You better have 25 rounds of cardio to out cardio Neil Magny.
and that pressure is gonna wear on you. Like it's gonna wear on anybody. Like I don't know. I really did genuinely feel bad for him because I like him and his team. You could see it in their face. Like they thought they did enough, but it all came down to that round 3. And considering the shithole that Columbus, Ohio is, they just were like, yeah, round 3 was good enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some of these judges, they like if you're so dominant in the third round, and the other 2 rounds are really close, they're just going to give you one of those other rounds just because they forget about it.
Yep.
It's just crazy. But the next fight that was insane back and forth was Kai Kara-France and Askarov. I think that was a fantastic fight, great fight. Do you think Kai Kara-France did enough to win that fight?
Yeah, I do. It's not at all what I expected. The evolution of Kai Kara-France, man. Like I like him genuinely as a person. I like his message. I like what he has to say. It's nice to have someone else coming out of that gym that looks good. We've seen ups and downs through his career, and you know, it's nice that he's back, on the winning side. It kind of sucks for Askarov because it's a step back. I assumed that he was going to be champ. Like I mean, it's still possible, but it's going to take that much longer. And I don't know, bro. Like, I guess the outcome for me is that I just feel good for Kai Kara-France.
Yeah, he should be next in line. Yeah, I saw Figueiredo's already talking about fighting him and not fighting Moreno. I feel like he doesn't want to fight Moreno again because that's why he's already going at Kai Kara-France. He feels like it'll be a lot easier fight because he doesn't have to worry about takedowns. He doesn't worry about really any submissions. He just has to go in there and just take it to him. And I think Figueiredo would beat Kai Kara-France. And that's kind of why he doesn't want that Moreno fight. He's like, Moreno can kind of beat me. But then Moreno's manager, Jason House, was like, we'll see you in July. You ain't getting away with this yet. You gotta go through us first. So we'll see. I'm excited for another 4th installment of that fight, even though it's gonna be more of the same, but it's still gonna be a banger regardless.
Yeah, good fight all around. And I read that tweet a couple times, and it just seems like it was like him and Cejudo just like sitting there, like, okay, what do we type next? And I'm just like, this is so weird, dude. It's like high school. Like these dudes are like, especially Cejudo, man. I know that that's like his character, like the king of cringe, but like I can just imagine him just like like frothing at the mouth just to be a weirdo on Twitter. Like he's
obviously Figueiredo didn't write that.
Yeah.
I mean, the man can barely speak English. There's no way he's writing that.
Yeah. But I can just imagine them just like sitting there together doing it like, we're so funny. Like, and then like popping Coronas, as they do it. It's like, I don't know, bro. It's like very like frat boy like mentality,
Yeah.
which I mean, that's fine. It makes it interesting, but whatever. I don't know. Cejudo, I feel like it would be more interesting if Cejudo was out of the element, but he's not. So whatever.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he still trains with Cejudo after for the next fight. It's not a lock that he's going to be back there always training with Cejudo. So we'll see. Where he's going to train, who he's going to train with, because that really is going to, I think, play a vital point. Because if he goes back to Brazil, I'm not really liking his chances. But if he stays with Cejudo and fight ready team, I think he could probably get it done again.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, and also obviously the fight of the night, Bryan Barberena, Matt Brown. What an absolute slugfest! Do you think Bryan Barberena was the rightful winner in this fight?
I do. I don't know, man. Honestly, I want to say yes, but then it kind of felt more like a draw. Like, but I mean, I don't know. It was ultimately we're the winners, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't bet on this fight. I kind of just enjoyed it, and we were back and forth on this one. I was Matt Brown, you were Barberena. I thought Matt looked really good. I was kind of surprised how good he looked, honestly, but Barberena looked even better. I was impressed with how well he took some of those elbows. Anyone else would have fell like eat quick style, and yeah, that I mean, I wish I had a better analysis for this one. It was just a good fight. Like
It
it
really,
was,
it really was. You know, it was everything everyone expected it to be. An absolute war for 15 minutes between two extremely durable and insane, violent human beings. You know,
yeah,
and Matt Brown looked, great round one, but then he slowly started to fade like Matt Brown normally does at age 41 years old, and then Barberena really just took over from there. And I thought he edged out round three. I just thought he did more. He was the one that was being the aggressor more, and obviously the last Fury in a fight that is relatively close. It wasn't one sided on either way. Like if Matt Brown was dominating round three and then Barberena only got that last Fury for the last 10 seconds, obviously you got to give it to Brown. But if it's neck and neck, no one's really showing anything that they're winning, and the last 10 seconds happen, you're gonna seal it for Barberena because it's a close round. But I just thought it was a good fight, and then I saw Phil Rose actually calling out Barberena, and I thought that would be a great fight, you
yeah,
know. And but the thing is, Barberena that that was his last fight of his contract, so he's waiting to see, what the UFC does next. He's like either the UFC, resigns me, gives me another contract, or he's gonna retire and just go work on his farm like he normally does.
yeah. That's interesting too because from the UFC's perspective, I could see why like having him under contract would be kind of risky based on his like medical history. Um, I'm not really sure the technicalities of like how that works or like, would they be at fault if something did happen to him inside the octagon? I would assume not. I'm sure they have to sign their life away. But I do agree with what you say about the end of round 3. I was kind of disappointed in the fact that Matt didn't like put it all out there, but like there was other exchanges in that round where he was. Uh but it really ultimately did come down to that last like 30 seconds of round 3, and Barberena looked good. Like he was not wilting, he was not moving backwards. Brown was but still, throwing the legs out there, pushing them off. I don't know, bro. It was just a great fight, great matchmaking. um yeah, it's not one I would have drawn up. I wouldn't have thought, hey, yeah, these two can dance well, but they Nick Manner did the right thing, and I'm yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely the fight that everybody was looking forward to, and it lived up to the expectations. It was just if you have not watched that fight, you need to go back and watch it. It was that good. It was gonna go. It's gonna go down as one of the better fights, and one of the better fights in Matt Brown and Barberena's career for sure.
Yeah, they're replaying it like all day. Not just that fight, but this card on ESPN News. So if you have ESPN News, you can probably tune in and catch it.
Nice, I like it. I like it. And then you got the co-main event, Alexa Grasso. She's now a title contender. What a win! The way she got it done against Joanne JoJo Wood, that was impressive because she's a boxer. She took her down, got her back, and sunk in the rear naked choke with ease. It was easy. That was the easiest RNC you probably will ever see.
Yeah, even leading up to that, I thought both of them looked good. Like they were both moving pretty well. They were both faster than usual. Because I know I made a comment about how they're very predictable, both these two. It just seemed like both of them were less flat-footed and they were more willing to engage. Which Joanne looked good until she got taken down, which is weird because that's what I assumed that she would do to Grosso.
Right.
But yeah, Grosso looked great. Like threw her up against the ring or the fence, and then yeah, hooks in, go to sleep, baby. Like it looked seamless. I was
Right.
not expecting it, and yeah, had like I was assuming because I already knew the outcome whenever I was watching it, but when I rewatched it, I was like, "There's no way. There is no way. Something has to go weird here. There. How does she not know how to protect herself in this situation?" And yeah, it was too easy. It was weird.
Yeah, to I don't know, to get that, for that to happen, and like she's good on the mat. That's what it just boggles my mind. She to get caught like that against somebody who's not on your level in terms of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And she just went for one side, and then you forgot about the other arm, and then she snuck it right under your neck, and that was it. And she couldn't pull down on the hand, and then she had a tap. I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, how? You
Yeah.
know, the fight that should have went over 2.5 didn't go over 2.5. She gets finished in round 1 by rear naked choke against the striker. It's that is just like that. Just mine was like my head's like, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool to see. I mean, but it was just odd. Like it was like, are you really that checked out, JoJo? Like, is this really?
She was a title challenger.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, when keeping it real goes wrong, instead of waiting for that title fight because Shevchenko couldn't fight at that moment, she's like, "No, I need to fight. I need to do this. I ain't waiting." And now look at you. You're 1-4 in your last 5 fights.
yeah. I mean, it probably. I mean, it probably wouldn't have worked out either way because
No,
she.
but I mean, but at least she gets a title shot. She gets
Yeah,
that added bonus, and in money as well. And then she's not fighting all these contenders coming up. And
yeah,
then
but she'd be like on a 5-0 or 0-5 losing streak at this point instead. I mean, yeah, the money's fine, but she would probably be cut at this point. Like, I don't know, man. Like that was super disappointing. Like she's like one of the OGs, like really. And how are you gonna let Grosso do that to you? Like she
I know
manhandled you, and then basically took you like one with your own move. Like, and that's her first sub. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how I was looking at it too. I mean, I knew Grosso was going to win, but I didn't think she was going to win that way. That's just not good. But here we are at our main event. The main event was good. It was good early, and I really liked what I saw from Blaydes. I liked that he didn't get one single takedown. He didn't even attempt to take down because I knew he was confident in his hands. That's why all the commentators were talking about, oh, he hasn't even attempted a takedown. He should be attempting takedowns. I'm like, no, man, let this man work.
yeah,
He's like, I put time and effort into building my craft on the feet. He's like, I'm putting these hands to work, and he put them to work against Chris Daukaus, and he knocked his ass out in 2 rounds, and that was impressive.
yeah. It really was. And I don't know if you caught the speech afterward, but he was like, when you're expecting the takedown, you got to work that much harder because you're guarding the takedown. Like and it's not only your body that's working hard; it's your mind.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking about that from Doc's perspective. I'm like, yeah, dude, I wouldn't even know what to do in that situation. Like, because you're expecting this guy to just manhandle you, but then he's like knocking your head off too. It has to be a scary situation. And I've been next to Blaydes. He's not, I'm 6 foot tall. He's not a beast of a man, but like when you're across the ring or the octagon from him, he is pretty intimidating. And it looks also like he put on some muscle. Like, I mean, he didn't look, he looked a little more cut than usual. And
Yeah.
I think that also kind of helped a little bit too, because even though he is carrying more muscle, obviously he wanted to finish the fight. And it was just like, let's do this. Like he looked good standing up. He's doing the little shadow boxing shit. It's funny to see, but it worked. And Dawkins looked good too, but he looked less confident than usual, and he ultimately just kind of looked scared from what I saw, which I'm not used to seeing that man scared. So that was kind of an interesting perspective.
Well, I mean, the UFC kind of threw him in with the wolves. I think a little bit too early. I know he got 4 straight, knockout wins, if I'm not mistaken, against decent competition. But going from big-headed Shamil to Derek Lewis and Curtis Blaydes, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just doing him an injustice.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head, I think, when we were like talking about this fight last week, how he's a very likable guy, but I don't know if he's likable enough to be thrown into this situation just yet. I would like to see him build his resume a little bit more and then maybe get some of these bigger names. Yeah, it was exactly how you called it, but I don't know. Had Curtis attempted to take him down, I could still see him getting caught. It just didn't seem like the confidence was there. And we've talked about this before. A lot of times we like to bet on fighters that believe in themselves. And had I known what I know now, I probably wouldn't bet on Daukaus because it didn't seem like he believed in himself.
He just, I feel like it was more than he could chew. He bit more than he could chew, whatever that phrase is. But like he knew going in, this is a tough ass fight, arguably the toughest of his career. Because with Lewis, he's got one way to beat you, and that's just landing, one strike. Whereas Blaydes, he can beat you in multiple different ways, where it's taking you down, beating your ass, or knock your ass out on the feet. And those feints, those hard feints, those hard stomps. He couldn't just come forward. He had to stay on the outside. He had to play at range, or he was gonna get taken down. So it was just a really, really hard fight for him because there was too much that he had to worry about. Whereas against any other opponent, he's like, I don't gotta worry about shit because these guys are just gonna strike with me, and I'm faster. Where Blaydes is, he can take you down numerous times for 25 minutes, and he won't bat an eye, and that's gonna be tough. But hopefully his confidence isn't too shook, gets back in there, gets a right opponent, and gets back in track.
All right, so that's what's next for Daukaus is someone that he can probably beat. But what's next for Blaydes? Do you think he's going to actually get that fight, or do you think he's going to get the Stipe fight, or what's?
It was weird not to call out Stipe. Stipe's right there. Stipe just like, okay, I don't want. You're not calling me out. I really don't care. Bye, and he just left.
He started taking a photo with a fan. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, you're right there. Call out Stipe. Like, why would you call out Stipe? I mean, that's the perfect fight. Get that fight under your belt, and then go for the interim title. Yeah. Even though I do think he's ready for a title shot because I feel like he's one of the best there. But are they going to give it to him? I don't. Probably not. If they give it to anybody right away in an interim title fight, it's probably going to be John Jones and Cyril Gane or something like that, I would assume. Because someone's got to fight for an interim title before Francis comes back. And I feel like the fight that's going to sell the most will probably be John Jones and Cyril Gane, or John Jones and Stipe. But I feel like John Jones and Cyril Gane will be the better fight because I think John Jones would probably wipe the floor with Stipe at this point.
Yeah, I agree. My only thing that I have to say that's a little different than you is that I think that Blaydes did the right thing. I don't think I would have called out Stipe either, especially after a performance like that. I would just say, like, I would have done like full heel. I'd have been like, Stipe, you're below me. Like, I'm going for the belt after like a performance like that, because I mean it is Chris Daukaus, but at the same time, he didn't even do his like normal routine. He like he mopped the floor with him, and that ground and pound was insane. Like, that was scary. So if I would have done the same thing, but I would have done it louder because it really didn't sell. It didn't really sell that fight. But if like he could have done like Cyril Gane, you killed everything I worked for, like Nate Diaz style, like. And it probably would have sounded like that because Blaydes has that stutter, like it would have been like, like it would have, I don't know, it probably would have worked, and then they could have done like sponsored by stuttering company. And I don't know, it would have been funner. He just should have been louder. Like he's too nice.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are fighters. They're not all actors like Kobe is. They're just fighters. They go in there, they put in the work, and they want their fights to speak for themselves without having to sell a fight. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't have to sell yourself to the crowd, sell yourself to your company. I mean, when you work at your job, you're not selling yourself to your company. You're doing your work that you're supposed to do, great, and that's what sells it. The work sells itself, and that's
I wish that was true. I wish that was true, Garrett.
I know. I wish
that's not true. Like even you have to do the water cooler shit. you have to be liked. Like, it's all about relationships, and like these guys have to kind of live up to that relationship with the fans.
Right.
That's why Colby's in the position he's in. Like,
he's not liked, but he's hated.
Well, that's my point. Is like you can either be liked or you can be hated, and then you can somewhat rise to the top. Blaydes, yeah, he puts in the work, but I feel like if anything, he should have went heel last night. He should have pulled an NWO, ripped off the shirt and said, "What's up, Stipe? You suck. Like, let's go, gone. I will mop the floor with you." And then after that, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you guys why I can beat Ngannou now. Like, who knows what happens, but I mean, it would have made a statement because he's not like that. It would have, like, just like his performance, it would have been different than what we're used to as far as Blaydes goes. Also, too, the other thing I wanted to say about what you said is that after these guys win, their mind is like butter. Like, they don't know what's going on. They're just like tunnel vision. I just won. I want to call my wife and take my gloves off. Like, they're like, it's impressive when Colby does stuff like he does, or Connor does stuff like he does, because a lot of that stuff they're like, they have rehearsed, obviously, but I don't know, it's that much more impressive when they have something up their sleeve. It's like T.O. every time he scored a touchdown, he had some shit ready,
right?
And yeah, I don't know. I just wish Blaydes was more prepared.
No, yeah, I mean, some come in with that game plan knowing what they're going to say afterwards, and then sometimes they just get hit in the head a little too much, and then that game plan just goes right out the window real fast.
That's true too. That's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, it talked about great fight card. We got a week off. No, I'm not sure if there will be a breakdown next week. Probably not, but the week after we will be back there. Great fight card, UFC 273, April 9th, Jacksonville, Florida, headlined by Alexander Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie, as well as Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. And then also Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns. That fight card is going to be stacked, and I absolutely cannot wait for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all those fights. I mean, it'll be like fucking Christmas, honestly. But I like, if there is something you guys want us to break down, if it's LFA, MMA, eBay, WWE, like anything, man, I think it'd be fun just to like talk about something. So if there is something coming up and you guys see it and it's a card, even if Garrett and I know nothing about it, we will attempt to give you some analysis based on mustaches or something. That being said, if we do, or if in, I guess when we start breaking down these things, when Garrett and I do disagree, we're gonna raise the stakes, Daddy. So we're gonna start betting on things like maybe Garrett has to eat a cricket. Maybe I have to show you guys my earlobes or something. I don't know. Like,
wait, why do I have to eat the cricket? You show us your earlobes. What's that about?
I don't know. We'll find out when I win, huh? But yeah, like, let us know, man. I'm in the comments. Garrett, I mean, he doesn't really do his job, so like I'll be in his comments. I'll be in the comments on his behalf. So yeah, roast us. Let us know what you want us to do, and we will do it.
Absolutely, and we will see you all on our next recap show after UFC 273 on April 10th.
Yeah.
Sunday. We will see you then, and we are out of here. But guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Vegas Odds YouTube channel, and like on all social platforms. VegasOdds.com.